Ever wondered what sleep deprivation really is? Well, it's more than just a case of the yawns. Sleep deprivation is when an individual doesn't get enough sleep to feel awake and alert. It's not just about feeling drowsy. It's a state of chronic sleeplessness that can seriously affect your health, performance, safety, and quality of life. Sleep isn't merely a time when your body and brain shut off. While you rest, your body is hard at work. During sleep, your body heals itself and restores its chemical balance. Your brain forges new connections and helps memory retention. Without enough sleep, your brain and body systems won't function normally. It can also dramatically lower your quality of life. Now let's talk numbers. According to the World Health Organization, around 2/3 of adults in developed nations don't get the recommended 8 hours of sleep a night. This is not just a personal health issue. The cumulative effect of millions of sleep-deprived people can affect economies and societies as a whole. In the United States alone, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention states that 1 in 3 adults don't get enough sleep. In Japan, the problem is even more severe, with a whopping 2 out of every 5 adults not getting enough sleep. And it's not just adults. The sleep deprivation epidemic affects children and teenagers too, impacting their growth, development, and learning. So, we see sleep deprivation is more common than we think, and it is a silent monster that is affecting our lives in ways we don't even realize. We often neglect our sleep in favor of work or leisure, not realizing the heavy toll it takes on our bodies and minds. But don't despair. In the coming segments, we will delve deeper into the impacts of sleep deprivation and discuss steps we can take to ensure we get the rest we need. Stay tuned because the journey to understanding and combating sleep deprivation has just begun. So how does sleep deprivation affect our brain? Well, imagine trying to navigate through a bustling city with a foggy windshield. That's what it's like for your brain when it's deprived of sleep. The first casualty of this foggy state is often our cognitive abilities. Without enough sleep, our attention span dwindles, our memory falters, and our problem-solving skills take a significant hit. It's like trying to run a marathon with one leg. It's just not going to end well. The impairment of cognitive abilities due to sleep deprivation isn't just about struggling to remember where you put your keys. It can lead to serious consequences in our daily lives, from minor blunders like forgetting an important meeting to severe mishaps like accidents due to reduced alertness and response time. Sleep deprivation, in essence, dulls our brain's ability to function at its full potential. Next, we come to the emotional roller coaster that is sleep deprivation. Ever noticed how a single night of poor sleep can leave you feeling irritable and moody the next day? Well, compound that feeling over several sleepless nights, and you've got a recipe for emotional turmoil. Mood swings become more frequent, patience wears thin, and the world seems a much more frustrating place. But it doesn't stop there. Chronic sleep deprivation can open the door to more severe mental health issues like anxiety and depression. Our brain uses sleep to regulate our emotions and process the events of the day. When we don't get enough sleep, it's like leaving the engine running without any coolant. Eventually, things start to overheat and break down. Our brain, the command center of our body, is at a significant risk due to sleep deprivation. It's a dire situation, but not an irreversible one. In the upcoming scenes, we'll explore the physical impacts of sleep deprivation and delve into effective strategies to find your sleep rhythm and establish healthy sleep habits. Because when it comes to protecting your brain from the ravages of sleep deprivation, it's never too late to start. The damage doesn't stop at the brain, our body suffers too. Now let's dive into the physical toll that sleep deprivation takes on our bodies. When you consistently miss out on the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep, your immune system starts to falter. That's because during sleep, your body produces proteins called cytokines, which help to fight off infection and inflammation. In the absence of adequate sleep, the production of these protective cytokines drops, leaving you more susceptible to common illnesses like the flu and even chronic conditions such as heart disease. Speaking of heart disease, sleep deprivation doesn't just make you more prone to catching a cold. It also significantly increases the risk of severe cardiovascular issues. Research has shown that people who don't get enough sleep have a higher likelihood of developing high blood pressure, arrhythmias, and even heart attacks. This is because sleep is when our heart and blood vessels heal and repair themselves. Without sufficient time for these restorative processes, the heart becomes increasingly vulnerable, and the body breakdown doesn't stop there. Sleep deprivation has a direct impact on your body's ability to regulate hormones that control hunger and satiety. When you're sleep deprived, your body produces more ghrelin, the hormone that signals hunger, and less leptin, the hormone that tells you when you're full. This hormonal imbalance often leads to overeating, weight gain, and in the long run, it can contribute to obesity and type 2 diabetes. So, you see, the consequences of sleep deprivation extend far beyond just feeling tired. It suppresses your immune system, increases your risk of heart disease, and disrupts your body's natural ability to regulate hunger, thereby increasing the risk of obesity and diabetes. Sleep deprivation is literally breaking our body down bit by bit. It's clear that getting enough sleep isn't just about feeling refreshed in the morning. It's a fundamental aspect of our overall health. So let's make sleep a priority, shall we? Up next, we'll explore how lack of sleep affects our productivity and creativity. Stay tuned. Sleep deprivation not only affects our health, but also our work and creativity. Let's dive deeper into that. Consider this. A well-rested mind is like a well-oiled machine. It runs smoothly, efficiently, and with fewer hiccups. But when sleep deprivation enters the scene, that machine begins to break down. Efficiency takes a nosedive. Tasks that were once easy and straightforward become challenging. Your focus wavers, your attention span shrinks, and your decision-making skills start to falter. Errors creep into your work. Deadlines slip by, and your overall productivity drops. It's like trying to run a marathon with a heavy backpack. You're slower, more prone to mistakes, and less effective. Now, let's switch gears to creativity, the spark that fuels innovation and progress. Just like a vibrant painting needs a clear canvas, creativity requires a well-rested mind. When you're sleep deprived, your brain struggles to form new connections, to think outside the box, to come up with fresh ideas. It's like trying to paint a masterpiece on a muddy canvas. The result is dull, uninspired, and far from your best work. Moreover, sleep deprivation can lead to burnout, a state of chronic physical and mental exhaustion. Burnout is not just about feeling tired. It's about feeling empty, devoid of motivation, and beyond caring. It's a creativity killer and a productivity destroyer. So, what's the takeaway here? Simply put, sleep deprivation is an invisible chain that's holding you back in your work and creative pursuits. It's a silent saboteur, undermining your efforts, dulling your edge, and stifling your potential. Lack of sleep is killing our productivity and suffocating our creative spark. So, it's time we recognize sleep for what it is, a non-negotiable, indispensable part of our lives that deserves our full attention and respect. Ever noticed how lack of sleep makes us irritable and affects our relationships? It's no secret that sleep deprivation can make us feel like we're on an emotional roller coaster, swinging from irritability to sadness and then back again. But have you ever stopped to consider how this emotional turmoil impacts our relationships? Let's start with personal interactions. When we're sleep deprived, our ability to communicate effectively and empathetically takes a nosedive. We may find ourselves snapping at our loved ones, colleagues, or even the barista who got our coffee order wrong. We become more reactive, less patient, and far less able to manage conflict. Over time, these negative interactions can strain our relationships, causing a fatigue of emotional distress. Sleep deprivation also hampers our ability to read social cues and understand others' emotions. This social blindness can lead to misunderstanding, missed opportunities for connection, and feelings of isolation. We might misinterpret a friend's joke as a snide remark or fail to notice that a coworker is upset. These missteps can cause friction and create distance between us and the people we care about. Now, let's talk about loneliness. Chronic sleep deprivation can lead to a sense of isolation and loneliness. When we're constantly tired, we might avoid social activities, preferring to stay in and catch up on sleep. This withdrawal can lead to feelings of loneliness, creating a vicious cycle of social isolation and poor sleep. Moreover, research suggests that sleep-deprived individuals are perceived as less attractive and less approachable. This can further exacerbate feelings of loneliness, as others might unconsciously avoid interacting with us. But here's the good news. By prioritizing sleep, we can start to repair these relationships. We can become more patient, more understanding, and more capable of connecting with others on a deep emotional level. So, the next time you find yourself snapping at a loved one or feeling isolated, ask yourself, am I getting enough sleep? Our relationships are suffering because of our poor sleep habits. But by making sleep a priority, we can start to turn things around. Remember, sleep isn't just about physical health. It's about emotional health and maintaining the relationships that bring joy to our lives. So how can we combat sleep deprivation? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? One of the most effective ways is by finding your sleep rhythm. Now, what is a sleep rhythm, you might ask? It's essentially your body's internal clock, also known as your circadian rhythm, which regulates your sleep-wake cycle. This rhythm can be influenced by light, temperature, and other external factors. But the most powerful factor is consistency. Establishing a consistent sleep routine is crucial. Aim to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Yes, that means resisting the urge to hit the snooze button or have that late night Netflix binge. By doing so, you're training your body to anticipate sleep, which can help you fall asleep faster and wake up feeling more refreshed. Now let's talk about stimulants. We all love a good cup of coffee or a fizzy soda, but these are not your friends when it comes to sleep. Stimulants like caffeine and sugar can interfere with your ability to fall asleep and the quality of your sleep. Try to avoid these at least 6 hours before bedtime. And yes, that includes chocolate too. Lastly, we need to discuss technology time outs. In this digital age, our screens follow us everywhere, even into our bedrooms. But the blue light emitted by these devices can interfere with our sleep. Try to put away all electronic devices at least an hour before bed. Consider this your time to unwind, relax, and prepare your body for sleep. Maybe read a book, listen to calming music, or practice some gentle yoga. Remember, it's not about having a strict regimen that feels like a chore. It's about creating a routine that works for you, one that you enjoy and look forward to. Finding your sleep rhythm can be the first step towards combating sleep deprivation. And remember, every good journey starts with a single step. So let's take that step towards better sleep, better health, and a better life. Let's discuss some key habits for a good night's sleep. Firstly, let's talk about creating a sleep-friendly environment. This is more than just having a comfortable bed. It's about creating a sanctuary that signals to your body that it's time to unwind and sleep. Consider the temperature, noise, and light in your room. Cooler temperatures, quiet surroundings, and darkness are conducive to better sleep. You might want to invest in some blackout curtains, earplugs, or a white noise machine to help create that ideal environment. Secondly, physical activity plays a significant role in promoting better sleep. Regular exercise, particularly in the morning or afternoon, can help regulate your body's internal clock, known as the circadian rhythm. This rhythm affects your sleep-wake cycle, digestion, and body temperature. But remember, too much physical activity close to bedtime can actually hinder your sleep. So try to finish exercising at least 3 hours before you plan to hit the sack. Finally, let's not forget the role of diet in sleep quality. As tempting as it might be to reach for a late night snack or a caffeinated beverage to keep you going, these can interfere with your sleep. Foods and drinks high in sugar and caffeine can give you an energy boost, but they can also keep you awake longer. Instead, opt for foods that promote sleep, like cherries, milk, and turkey, which contain sleep-inducing compounds like melatonin and tryptophan. And of course, hydration is key. But remember, to cut back on fluids a couple of hours before bedtime to minimize middle of the night bathroom trips. By adopting these healthy sleep habits, we can reclaim our sleep and our health. So let's commit to making these small changes. After all, a good night's sleep is a cornerstone of good health. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity, and it's within our reach. Let's prioritize sleep and wake up to a healthier, happier, and more productive life.